Hello friends. Welcome to Audiobook Daily. Today we'll talk about Dopamine Detox by Thibaut Meurisse, published in 2021. Ethan used to be full of ideas. He wanted to start his own business, get fit, and finally write that book he'd been dreaming about. But every time he sat down to begin, his phone buzzed. One message. One video. One more scroll. Hours slipped away. He'd end each day tired, not from working hard, but from doing nothing that really mattered. One night, as he lay in bed with the blue glow of his screen flickering across his face, he whispered to himself, "Why can't I just focus anymore?" That question led him to a small, powerful book, Dopamine Detox by Thibaut Meurisse. And what he learned changed everything about how he lived, worked, and thought. Understanding the dopamine trap. In the opening chapters, Thibaut Meurisse explains that dopamine is not the pleasure chemical people think it is, it's the motivation chemical. It's what drives us to act, to chase, to achieve. But in our modern world, dopamine is constantly being hijacked. Every notification, like video or sugary snack, gives your brain a quick hit of pleasure, without effort. Our brains get flooded with dopamine signals, so real, meaningful work starts to feel boring in comparison. You scroll because it feels good instantly. You procrastinate because it's easier than doing something hard. Meurisse calls this the trap of easy dopamine. He writes, "When everything around you is designed to capture your attention, your focus becomes your most valuable asset." Why we feel unmotivated. When dopamine is overstimulated, your brain's baseline levels drop. That's why after hours of social media or gaming, you feel tired, foggy, and unmotivated. Your brain no longer finds joy in slow, meaningful progress. It just craves the next quick fix. This is the modern cycle of distraction. Quick pleasure, dopamine spike, crash, boredom, more quick pleasure. And so, you keep chasing little highs, while your goals sit untouched. The dopamine detox. The core of the book is simple yet powerful. To reset your brain, you must detox. A dopamine detox doesn't mean removing dopamine entirely. That's impossible. It means removing the excessive sources of stimulation that hijack your focus. Meurisse suggests picking a time frame, a few hours, a day, or even a week, to disconnect from all high dopamine triggers. No social media. No junk food. No endless entertainment. No multitasking. Instead, spend that time doing low-stimulation but rewarding activities. Read a physical book, write or journal, go for a walk, meditate. The first few hours will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will itch for stimulation. But as time passes, your thoughts become clearer, your mind quieter. And then, something beautiful happens. You start finding joy in simple things again. The sound of birds, the feeling of wind, the satisfaction of completing a task. This is your brain resetting, rewiring your brain for focus. Once your brain is no longer overloaded, you can begin to retrain it for focus and discipline. Meurisse explains that you must rebuild your reward system. Start giving yourself small dopamine rewards for doing meaningful work. For example, work deeply for 1 hour, take a 10-minute walk. Complete a project, enjoy a movie. This teaches your brain to associate effort with pleasure, not avoidance. Soon, you'll start craving focus instead of distraction. He calls this the dopamine balance, not eliminating pleasure, but controlling when and how you earn it. The real goal, mastery over your mind. Thibaut Meurisse reminds us that discipline is not about punishment, it's about freedom. Freedom from the invisible control of distraction. He writes, "You don't lack motivation. You're just addicted to easy dopamine. When you master your dopamine, you master your life. You start choosing what truly matters, not what's easiest in the moment. And as you gain focus, your productivity skyrockets, your confidence returns, and your sense of purpose deepens." How to practice dopamine control daily. To make the detox sustainable, Meurisse gives 3 practical steps. Identify your triggers. Notice what activities give you quick but empty satisfaction, like scrolling or snacking mindlessly. Replace, don't remove. Swap those habits with healthier ones that still feel rewarding, like exercise, journaling, or deep reading. Schedule controlled pleasure. Instead of random indulgence, Schedule your fun time consciously, so pleasure becomes a choice, not a compulsion. Over time, your brain learns balance. And balance leads to lasting motivation, clarity, and peace. The true reward. At the heart of dopamine detox lies a timeless truth. Fulfillment doesn't come from chasing more, but from being in control of what you chase. When you stop letting your mind wander toward easy pleasure, you make space for the deeper satisfaction that comes from progress, purpose, and growth. As Meurisse writes, the ability to do hard things is what separates those who achieve from those who wish. A few months later, Ethan's life looked different. He still had the same phone, the same job, and the same goals. But now, he was different. His mornings began without checking notifications. He worked in focused blocks, took walks between tasks, and saved social media for the evening. The noise in his mind faded, replaced by quiet confidence. He'd finally built momentum toward his dreams. One night, as he wrote in his journal, he smiled at a single thought. It wasn't motivation I was missing. It was control. And that's when he realized, the detox wasn't just about dopamine. It was about reclaiming his life. True freedom begins when you stop chasing cheap pleasure and start earning real fulfillment. That's the miracle of dopamine detox. Not removing joy from life, but learning to find it in the right places. Thank you for listening. See you in next Audiobook Daily.